If you're constantly doing this on your iPhone, then you should stop immediately. iPhones are not designed to work with the low power mode all the time being on. And a lot of users actually do this. You will see a ton of people that they have their low power mode turned on during the day. That is actually not how it's supposed to be. Having an iPhone with the battery charged means that you can use it like that. Low power mode is intended only for cases when your iPhone's battery is actually really low. And by that I mean at 20%. Even the device will give you a suggestion to turn on low power mode at 20%. Having the low power mode turned on all the time on your device will actually make your device way slower. And you can even notice it, even though with the new iOS 27 beta 1 it has improved a lot, and you actually don't see a lot of changes on the performance when you turn on low power mode. But on iOS 26 and other iOS versions, it's actually really bad, and it will actually have a bad impact on your device. Background app refresh will be disabled. A lot of things will be managed differently, so it's not like you're using your iPhone on the regular mode. So for the low power mode, turn it on only when you're really on low power on your iPhone, and not just leave it on during the day. And the low power mode is just one of the things that a lot of iPhone users will do wrong. Here's more of them. One of them will be storing like passwords on the Notes app. That's a big no-no. I see a lot of people do store either like passwords or very sensitive data on their Notes app. That's a very big privacy concern. Now with iOS, if you don't want to bother with third-party apps and all that stuff, all you need to do is just actually go ahead and just use the Passwords app on iOS. In my opinion, one of the best apps that you have on iOS when talking about the stock apps of iOS. The Passwords, it's a great way to manage your passwords. You don't need to remember anything. Everything is saved here. Everything is protected with your Face ID, or the passcode is very secure. That's the way to actually store your sensitive data, not on the Notes app. Another thing that you're probably doing wrong on your iPhone is never rebooting or turning off your device. Having your iPhone up for like weeks, maybe even months, it's actually not a good thing to do. Just one case, just something like a small example. If you head on right now to the settings of your device, you go to general and you go to the iPhone storage section. If you scroll down here, you will have system data right here. In this case, it's at 20 gigabytes for my device. If I reboot right now, I can assure you that it will at least remove like a couple of gigabytes out of there. So rebooting your iPhone will restart a lot of processes and it will just remove a ton of junk from your device. All the system files, the files from third-party apps and Apple apps, all the temporary files that have gone stuck on your device will be removed. That way your iPhone will even perform better, but of course at the same time you get some more battery life. Next up, we're talking about storage. Now, one of the main things, of course, that will occupy the storage of your iPhone will always be your photos and videos. And with iOS 26, there's a very easy way to actually just waste the storage that you have on your iPhone. I call it wasting because you're not like doing anything good with this, and I'm talking here about screenshots. So when taking screenshots on your device, you know that nowadays we take a ton of screenshots. And if you go to settings on iOS 26, you go to general and then you go to screen capture, you will notice that we have an HDR format right here. Now, if you're using the HDR format, of course, you're using way more space on your iPhone. Like I say, at least like 5 to 6 times more than just using the SDR, which is also more compatible. Now, why I think this is not necessary, because most of the time we're using these screenshots maybe just to save some information we need later, to save, let's say, a product you see or something like that, or just to send it to someone on a message. That's why you don't actually need the HDR format for your screenshots, and they're taking a ton of space on your iPhone. If you take HDR screenshots, go ahead and take a look at them and see how much bigger in size they're compared to the SDR screenshots. Next will be background app refresh, a setting that probably a lot of users don't even see or haven't ever used or haven't never gotten into that setting. So if you go to general right here, you will have background app refresh right here, and you have a list of all the apps that will be basically allowed to refresh their content in the background. Now you will have here, of course, apps that do need to have this enabled, like the navigation apps or maybe your fitness apps or some stuff like that needs to be active even in the background. But there will be a ton of like apps, let's say like apps like wallpaper apps that I have here that don't actually need, like freeform here from Apple doesn't need background app refresh, so we can go ahead and disable that. And we have a ton of different apps that actually don't need to be refreshing in the background. That's why you must always go ahead and check these apps right here and turn it off for most apps that you can. Another thing I see a ton of people doing on their iPhones is using the brightness on the manual mode. That's actually a big mistake. It's not like you're doing something good for your iPhone. You will probably just drain the battery out of your iPhone and of course damage your eyes by having the brightness turned much more up than you think you need. Now the way to do this, always make sure you go under accessibility, go to display and text size. Now of course I have it turned off right now. I have auto brightness turned off because of the video. But right here, scroll all the way down to auto brightness, and from here you make sure that you go ahead and turn on auto brightness. That's the best way to use brightness on your iPhone. Your iPhone will basically just manage the brightness based on your environment, and you will save a ton of battery in your eyes as well. Now when talking about battery, another thing a lot of users actually do wrong is charge their iPhone in hot places. Maybe plug your iPhone in to charge and place it under a pillow or on the dashboard of your car, or even using wireless chargers, especially in cars. Now I have a wireless charger on my car and it's actually terrible. You charge it for like 5 minutes and your iPhone gets extremely hot. Now sometimes your iPhone will stop charging, of course, because iOS does prevent your iPhone from charging when it's overheated. But even if it doesn't, just staying at that temperature for a really long time, your battery will probably be damaged very fast. So avoid charging in hot places, and of course avoid all kinds of wireless charger for most of the time. So that is it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you did, smash that like button and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys on the next one.